Okay, so we'll be discussing properties of inequalities. Properties of inequalities. Inequalities is used to describe the order of real numbers and to represent sets of real numbers. In inequalities, we have also the solution set. The solution set of inequality is the set of all real numbers for which the inequality is a true statement. For example, we have this. One. X plus 1 is greater than 4 is the set of all real numbers greater than 3. Why? Because x plus 1 greater than 4, subtract both sides by -1 in order for us to isolate x. So we have x plus 1 minus 1 is greater than 4 minus 1. 1 minus 1, 0. So we have x is greater than 3. So the solution set is the set of all real numbers greater than 3. So we have properties of inequalities. So let A, B, and C be real numbers. Number 1, we have addition and subtraction property. If the same real numbers is added to or subtracted from each side of an inequality, the resulting inequality is equivalent to the original inequality. So, if this is a real number, if A is lesser than B, and we add C to both sides, the inequality does not change. So we have still A plus C is lesser than B plus C. For example, if A is equal to 1, then B is equal to 2, then C is equal to 3. Therefore, A is lesser than B, or 1 is lesser than 2. So if we add both sides by 3, so we have 1 plus 3 is lesser than 2 plus 3, or 4 is lesser than 5. So ingana ra ka sayon. What about multiplication? Division property. So, erase na ito ni. So, multiplying or dividing each side of an inequality by the same positive real number produces an equivalent inequality. For instance, if C is greater than 0, then A is lesser than B, and A times C is lesser than B times C. So, this is kay kung ang C is lesser than or equal to 0, dili siya pwede. So, the condition is C is greater than 0. So, C must be a positive real numbers. So, for example, if we have C equal to 1, or let's say 2, equal to 2, then we assume that A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 2. Therefore, if A is lesser than B, or 1 is lesser than 2, then 1 times C, which is 2, is lesser than 2 times C, which is 2. So 2 is lesser than 4. So that is the multiplication division property. Next, Multiplying or dividing each side of an inequality by the same negative real number produces an equivalent inequality, provided the direction of the inequality symbol is reversed. So for example, if C, the condition if C is lesser than 0, that means C must be a negative real numbers. Then A is lesser than B, and A times C is greater than B times C are equivalent inequalities. So if we have this condition, C is lesser than 0, meaning C must be a negative real numbers. So we have C is negative 1, for instance, and A is equal to 1, then B is equal to 2. So from here, A is lesser than B. That means 1 is lesser than 2. This is a true condition. However, if we are going to multiply C to both sides of the inequality, we have 1 times 1 is greater than. So we have to flip the inequality. Is greater than 2 times negative 1. Or negative 1 greater than negative 2. So, si negative 1 is greater than negative 2. So, gi-flip na to ang inequality. If mo multiply tag or mo divide tag negative real numbers, or C, or the condition is C is lesser than 0. So that is the property of inequalities. So, ang example is kani. Adding or subtracting the same number to or from each side of an inequality produces an equivalent inequality. So for example, x minus 4 is lesser than 7. So all we have to do is to add 4 in order for us to isolate x. So negative 4 plus 4, 0, then 7 plus 4 is 11. Therefore, x is lesser than 11. Same procedure. Same rin siya. Kani. Multiplying or dividing each side of an inequality by the same positive number produces an equivalent inequality. So, ingani siya. Unsa man pagkuha nato ni x, we have to divide both sides by 3. Diba? So, this cancel out. Ang mabilin si x na lang. Then, 12 divided by 3 is 4. So, x is lesser than 4. How about this one? 2/3 x is greater than negative 4. So, pwede po ni siya dividean nimo 2/3 para ang mabilin si x na lang, or multiplyan nimo the reciprocal of this coefficient sa x. So may reciprocal sa 2/3, we have 3/2. 3/2 times 2/3 x is just 1. Makancel ni siya, makancel. So x is greater than, so kung ni-multiply kag reciprocal sa 2/3, dapat mo-multiply pud ka sa pika side. So we have 3/2 times negative 4, which is x is greater than negative 6. Kay 3 times 4, 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. divided by 2 is negative 6. Therefore, x is greater than negative 6. Next property. Multiplying or dividing each side of an inequality by the same negative number produces an equivalent inequality provided the direction of the inequality symbol is reversed. So, balihon ra nato ang inequality if mo divide tag negative numbers or negative real numbers. So from here, ang dapat mabilin is si x ra jud. Ang dapat mabilin. So divide na nato coefficient ni x ang both sides, which is negative 2. Ma-cancel si negative 2, ang mabilin si x na lang. Kung ning divide kag negative 2 sa pika side, dapat mo divide po kag negative 2 sa pika side. So 6 divided by negative 2, we have negative 3. So x is greater than negative 3. How about ingani? Fraction siya. So pwede nimo ni dividean og negative 3/4 ang both sides, or times animog reciprocal ani nga coefficient ni x. So sa may reciprocal sa negative 3/4, we have negative 4/3. So kung ning times ka sa pika side, mo times would ka sa pikas. Dapat fair sila. So kani ma-cancel. Cancel ni siya. Pag kani, then negative times negative is positive. Ang mabilin is x na lang. So ang negative 4/3 times animog 3, ma-cancel ni si 3, ang mabilin is negative 4 na lang. So x is lesser than negative 4.